All right, my name is Rich Noir. This is On the Ones. Today, I'm here with someone who I feel like we linked up maybe like 3-4 years ago when I was a long time ago.
Like 7 years.
Is that long?
Something like that. I think I was living around the corner from here, actually.
Yeah.
You came and dropped off something.
Not too far. So it was years ago. It was a hat.
Yeah.
Before we had the clothing thing and everything else, like moving. It's somebody who showed love off jump. Like you weren't hesitant. One of the people, like one of the early people I reached out to that was just like, yeah, I'm with it. You know? So from that, I feel like those times you were definitely doing like heavy YouTube shit those times. And I watched you transition from YouTube to podcast to now stand-up comedy. I'm here with my guy, ThatdudeMcfly.
Yes, sir.
Marlon Palmer. So with this show, we try to capture like the full story to go back like from the jump, from the beginning, and kind of work your way up to where you're at right now.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning of where the Marlon Palmer story begins. Where are you from? Where are you born?
Born in Toronto, well, Scarborough.
Okay.
And then I moved to Vaughan, like grade 8 times, and lived there for the rest of my like teenage life. And then when I moved to Toronto, is actually like I think a year after I moved to Toronto, a friend of mine asked me to join the VJ search that MuchMusic was doing in like 09.
So that's what brought you back, like
Yeah,
to Toronto.
Yeah, basically. And then I didn't even want to join it. My boy was joining it. He didn't want to join it alone. It looked like a wastesuit. So I was like, yeah, I'll join.
All right, we're gonna get to all that. I don't want to fast forward because I want to like talk about that like a little bit in detail. So I want to go bring it back. So you said you were born in Toronto.
Yeah.
Grew up until grade. Where'd you live?
Grade 8, I moved to Vaughan.
From Scarborough.
Yeah.
So what were some of the biggest differences you noticed coming from Scarborough to Vaughan? Because that's a big
so
transition.
Clean. The first thing I was thinking was like, yo, it's so clean. Like, there's no graffiti. Like, I'm used to like just smell of like the piss in the stairwells, the Wu-Tang signs in the stairwells. So like, especially not seeing a Wu-Tang sign. I don't know why that always stuck out to me. Like
not seeing a Wu-Tang sign.
Because bro, like in Scarborough, I don't know what it is. Every stairwell you went into, at least in my building, in the my bedrooms buildings, every stairwell had a Wu-Tang sign on it, like a marker or graffiti or whatever. And I just remember that being like a staple. And now when I was a kid, I just thought everywhere had these Wu-Tang signs. And then like when I went to Vaughan, I was like, yo, it's so clean. Plus like it was. Like, there was barely anything there at that time. It was Wonderland. There's no Vaughan Mills. There's no HEPA houses. Like, a lot of things were in construction, so you had, like, dirty kicks for like 2 years when you're living there. It was, like, bare construction and shit. So, it was weird, but it was interesting.
Was it like a seamless kind of transition with friend groups?
Yeah.
Because you're leaving, that's, like, a pretty pivotal time, like, grade 8 and shit, leaving your friends.
Yeah.
Were you like, yo, I want to move to this area because I know it's a better situation, or are you like, fuck that, I want to stay with my dogs?
Well, like, I didn't want to move. My mom obviously knew better, wanted to get us out the hood. Yeah. So it was like one of those where she scraped money and like was just able to afford it. So then when we moved there, it's not like Maz were rich, you know what I mean? Like we were still, it seemed like the same situation, just in a bigger house.
In a better environment.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and with the whole friends thing, like I was always the kid that was outside anyways. And like, it was just very easy for me to make friends. When I was a kid, I had no fear. I'd just be like, hey, you want to play? And that's just what it would be. So, especially with ball, like every man knows what it's like just making friends through ball. Like it's not hard at all. It's natural. You just end up on a team together, learn a man's name, see him 1-2 times every week, and that's your dog now. You know what I mean? So that's how it was, man. Just staying out late, playing ball till the street lights came on, and that's how I'd like find out who the kids in the area were, and like especially the ones that came from the same type of environment as me, because like
you guys naturally kind of clicked.
Yeah, you could tell like who came from the hood and who didn't, you know what I mean? And like everyone had moved there kind of like the same time, because that whole area was just being developed. And so it was like a lot of kids who were in the same situation as me, or their families were like immigrants who moved here, scraped up some little bit of money they could, and tried to get them out the hood. So yeah, it was fun.
What was your immediate household setup like? Was it just you, your mom, your siblings? Or?
Well, at first it was me, my little brother, little sister, my stepdad, and my mom. And then my stepdad's kids from Jamaica came down. They're all my older brothers. Okay. So it's 3 of them came down midway through high school, which was interesting because they were also in high school.
Full house.
Yeah, so it was a full house, 6 kids. 2 of them are in high school still, so they went to my school. and we all played on the same soccer team.
Yeah.
My dad was the coach. Like, he came and volunteered and shit. And then, yeah, man, it was just fun. It was just a lot of fun.
So you said as a kid you were like were you a gamer kid or sports kid or like a majority like
sports? Just sports ruled my life. Like, I didn't even think about girls until like probably grade 12, to be honest. Like, even through high school, bro, even through high school, and when everyone's just on girls, like, it was obviously you're gonna notice girls and stuff like that, but like, I wasn't like focused on like, oh, I need to get a girlfriend or I need to slap a ting or whatever. Like, I just wanted to play ball, to be honest. We would play ball, get to school, play ball in the morning for half an hour before school starts. Lunchtime, play ball. At next man's lunch, you'd skip your class, go play ball because most of the ballers are at that lunch. And then after school, you're playing ball again. Leave from there, go to community center, more ball. And then probably from there, if there was a next one open late, we'd go to a next one and play ball again until like it was time to go home. That's it. That's all I did.
That's up until high school.
Yeah, like grade 11, grade 12.
So when does your ball career stop?
College. I made the Humber varsity team, and I didn't even get to. Wow. First practice, 2 guys land on my leg, and I like severely sprained my ankle, and like couldn't walk for like 3 months on my ankle. It was bad.
What was that feeling like though? Because if you're going from ball day night,
it's the worst.
So one fucking freak.
It was depressing. Yeah, it was depressing because I'd never been injured before, so it was like I didn't know what that was like. I didn't know what like how to speed up the process or nothing. I just like was just trying to walk on my feet like every day, and that was just making it worse. And then seeing other people playing ball, like the most you can do at that point is just stand and shoot.
Did you still go to games with it?
Yeah, because I was like, I need some fix, yo. I need something, bro. So I was like, it was depressing, but at the same time, when that happened, there was a lot happening in like home stuff and family situations. So like, I think it happened at the right time because then I don't know if I would have still like turned to what I'm doing now because it basically happened like the next year. Yeah.
So you kind of transitioned into what you're doing now because
yeah, exactly.
Before we get into like all the shit that how you maneuver the internet space, what was your first actual like experience with the internet that you remember? I feel like we're in a similar age group. Like
first experience with the internet. The first one I remember is getting suspended for porn. Got suspended for porn in grade 7. There's this kid.
How do you get suspended for porn?
Yo, this kid went on there, bro. This little brody went on there, dog. And he's like, yo, come look. I'll never forget the site. It's Einstein.com. It was called. This is in school. Lunchtime. So you know how there's volunteers that walk around that are like parents. They don't work in the school, but they work for the school. Yeah, this there. And there's always that one that everyone hates. So that one was patrolling, see? And this kid's like on it. We're playing dominoes, and he's like, yo, come look at this. And I get up, I walk over there, and I see a group of mans over there. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I go on there, I look, man had Dragon Moon X open. It's like Dragon Ball Z characters all naked and shit. And at that time, you're like grade 7, Dragon Ball Z was like the shit them times. So it's like, yo, you're like, wait, what? Like, it blew my mind. And then he went on this next site called Einstein.com. They had just bare naked white girls. And I was like, yo, this is wild, but I like it. And then...
But is this in a classroom?
In the class. Because this is when you got to eat lunch in the class. We never had a cafeteria, none of that. And so now, the lady must have came in the door, right? And I'm still like, like, I'm still pre-ing the whole screen. Yeah. And the beer man just starts scurrying off, right? And I'm like, what's going on? And I see her. The youth that went on the site, seen her, gets up, bolts away. So now she's just seeing me at the computer. And I'm like trying to close. And them times when you try to close porn, close 1, 10 pop up. Close those 10, another 1,400 pop up. So I was like, I'm trying to close. And I pressed the power button to hold it, to turn off the whole thing. And by the time she got over there, the last second, she's seen everything on the screen. And then it shut off. And yeah, got suspended.
That's funny.
It was fucked, man.
So that's your first experience with the internet.
Yeah.
And then I guess, I don't know your exact age, but were you still around like dial-up time?
Yep.
Like, you remember the whole
AOL, yep. Netscape, all that. Kazaa. Bearshare. Kazaa is when you know, like that's what man used to download like a Soulja Boy song, and Bill Clinton would come up.
All those, you wait like a day.
Yep.
It took like 8 hours sometimes. You come home from school like, what the fuck?
Or freaking, you download a song and at the end, the man's like, 100,000 beats, hiphop.com. And you're just like, yo, I hate that guy.
8 tries sometimes to find the right song.
Every time. I remember, like, especially if it was a song on 106 and Park, it's the worst.
I didn't even know how to upload back then, to be honest. I was a
Yo.
I never uploaded.
Well, when they found out how to do that P2P sharing thing, that's when, like, shit got turned up because you didn't really need to learn how to do anything. You just had to drag and drop the file.
I never uploaded shit.
I never uploaded jack, but you know what they did take from you? Whatever you downloaded.
Yeah, someone else would go.
Someone would get it from you.
You would see, like, what they used to say on Kazaa? It'd be like 10 people are taking, like.
Yeah. 10 people are remaining or some shit like that. Yo, that shit was lit. I don't care. That was a great time in the internet. Wild West.
Good time. So let's go back to social networking. What's the first social networking platform?
T.Wire was the shit back in the day, and I remember. Nah, I didn't. I wasn't around them times. I had High Five. I had High Five, Meet Me in T.O., and T.Wire. High Five was big trash.
High Five was like a little phase, like a 6 month.
Yeah, not even like a 3-month thing. They tried hard. It was trash. And then, yeah, T.Wire, I remember they had this forum called Let's Bang. And, like, you go into a forum, and that's where everybody just be in there talking shit, exposing brainers or whatever. Like, it was wild them times, bro. People were getting exposed, like, every other day. And there was this thing they did. Remember when they had the rating system? Yeah. So, like, they had the T.Wire official, like, the creators or whatever, made this page called Fly Fellas and Fly Chicks, right?
They would be called that.
Yeah, right back in the day with the Z. Fly Fellas, 2 Ys. Remember those times? And then they had people who were highest rated on the site on there, and my thing was on there, and I remember going to Wondergrad that year. And like bare people had seen the page. So if you're on that page, you got so many different followers, and friend requests the next day. People are writing on your wall, like, you're lit. Went to Wondergrad like a week and a half later, and girls were recognizing me off that. I'm like, yo, that's sick. Like, it's crazy. And then Facebook came out.
Who was behind T.Wire?
This guy on my block, actually. I can't remember what his name. Yes. He used to come, he used to come play ball every, like, week, every Friday. Man pulled up in a Mercedes every week and just, like, we're just like, yo, tell us, like, yo, what are you going to do next to the site? Like, it was crazy. Yeah. Because this man in Vaughan, yo. The black guy from Vaughan. Yeah. And he sold it. I think he sold it to, like, a dating company. And, like, it turned into, like, a dating site.
I went to go find the guy. So I went, and the site still exists.
Yeah, it's a dating site now.
I'm like, yo, you probably got a bag off that.
Oh, yeah. He got a bag, for sure. He was getting a bag while he was doing it, too. Like, remember Fashion Freakers and all that shit when Kamikaze Juice was doing those photo shoots? Yeah. Them times. He's making money still.
Okay, so that transition, Facebook comes now.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people from T.Wire are still going to end up finding you.
Well, some people found me, and then on top of that, I started making groups because I realized groups were the wave. Yeah. And I was at that time, I was making a concerted effort to actually be famous on the internet. I'm like, I saw the little bit of taste of whatever at Wondergrad, and I'm like, yo, this is, because I remember going home that day, I had MSNs all over my arms, girls writing their MSN on my hands and shit. I'm like, yo, yeah, bro, because man didn't have no phone, none of that. So then now I'm like, yo, Facebook is out, it's new. If I tackle this from early, like, everybody in Toronto is going to know me. And then I made, first I made a Fresh Prince is the Greatest group. That was my first group. But that blew up. It's like one of the biggest TV show groups now, and I'm not even admin on it anymore.
It still exists.
It still exists. I'm super cheese. The Facebook that I made that created it got deleted. And so the admin turned to the next person that followed it or subscribed to it or whatever. Oh, man, right? And then I made I Love Me Some Light Skin Chicks. Oh, shit. Very problematic. At the time, no way. At the time, those are the talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it was normal.
The only reason I made it was because there was a light-skinned dudes group that girls had made. And I had won or something like that, and a girl messaged me, oh, you won, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She showed me the page, and she bare girls just like drooling over every nigga on there. I'm like, okay, where's the girls one? No girls one. I'm like, we're making that. And then me and my boy, I hit up all my niggas. I'm like, yo, send me every light-skinned girl picture you have. Like, bro, I remember sitting in Humber College that day, and all my boys just sending me bare pictures. I'm posting them, and the group's just, like, within hours, the group is just rising.
Now you're saying, I feel like I had seen
Bro, it was turmoil because there was thousands of people in the group, and then there was bare dark-skinned people that are coming in and yelling about it, this is fucked up and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, what's their problem? Like, make a dark-skinned page. Like, I was so ignorant back then. I just didn't think anything of it. It was just whatever to me. Different times. And then, yeah, that page blew up. I remember I made a exposure page that people could expose like whoever they wanted, and then that turned into some next thing. It was on the radio. Like,
you never got exposed on it?
No. They're just exposing like girls who suck dick. There's a girl that I remember that there's a girl who's sucking dick and feeding her child with a baby bottle.
On the page?
And that's what blew it up like crazy. And then my page got deleted. I made a next page the next morning, and I got like the max amount of friend requests, and I was like, okay, like this is serious now.
And I remember like we had Spotty Matt Mogul on. He was talking about that Facebook era, about the group.
I remember Matt at the times, Fly Society.
Yeah, we had the same thing where niggas used to link up and just like buy shoes.
Literally link up downtown, go shopping with randoms.
Yeah, that's
like
it was a culture.
That's what it was, literally.
Kind of crazy now, but like that was very.
We created communities.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about the same.
Yeah, we created communities back then, just off of like similar interests through Facebook groups. So like you'd make a group, there'd be certain people you'd vibes with, certain people you wouldn't, and you just like go with your tribe. You know what I mean? Like people would split up, and we had a group that was like a private group where it was only the mandem in there, and we just talk shit or whatever, and then we'd link up. Come downtown, go shopping or whatever. It was wild, yo. Yeah.
So what came after that? How was it? The MuchMusic?
Like, MuchMusic was during the Facebook time. Yeah.
Talk to me about how that MuchMusic came about. Now I want to get to that.
You know Lath. Lath Hakeem. He was entering the VJ search. I had no idea about it, and then he didn't want to enter it by himself, so he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, you should enter this. You'd be good for it." Yada yada yada. I'm like, "All right, bet. Like, no harm in it." I must have put on my Facebook wall, like, yo, who could film me for this audition? Some girl answered. I didn't know her, but she filmed me. And yeah, and she brings it up to this day. Every time I see her, she's like, I started your whole career. I'm like, yo. I don't know, man. Listen, hey, man. But nah, friggin' stop. Cut it out. So then now, entered the VJ search, made it into the top 32, then made it into the top 16, then made it to the top 8, then it was the final 4. In the final 4, for a week, you hosted Much On Demand, live.
I was watching.
Yeah. Friggin', so we're hosting live TV for the first time. Like, I remember being so scared. Like, now, oh my God, it'd be a body. But back in the day, bro, I don't know how I even did it, to be honest. Like, I feel like I was on autopilot. Stupid nervous. I was nervous. My legs were shaking while like filming, cause it's like, first of all, it's one thing being on TV, but live where it's like you can't mess up, and if you mess up, there's so much riding on it, bro. It was a lot, and you're in front of an audience. That's the other thing. It's not even like you're just you and the camera person. It's a live audience. Bro, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and then. I made it all the way to the finale, came in second, and Liz Trinier, she's the one that won.
She's still there, no? She's still
Yeah, like E-Talk now, I think. I think it's E-Talk, because all the VJs sort of moved over there.
I remember watching that contest and being like, oh, this guy's going to win. Like,
everybody thought that.
Like, oh, this is like 100% he's going to win. And when I remember when you didn't, I was like, that's kind of fucked up still.
Everybody thought that, and I remember being told... It was a voting system, but I was told afterwards that they wanted a blonde white girl the entire time. Because remember that white girl that had left, like just recently before that. And so that's what I was told. I don't know if it's the truth, but I'm gonna live with that.
But let's talk about a little bit about it. So you're waiting. How do you hear the result? Is it a live thing?
Live, yeah, live on TV.
So you guys are both there, I guess?
Yeah.
And they announce it?
Yeah, and then the confetti comes down, and I'm standing there like a jackass. Confetti comes down, I'm just like...
How long after that, how long did it take you to get over that shit?
Oh, no, I was over it the next day.
You weren't like...
Because, like, at that point, first of all, I never wanted to even do the contest. Yeah. So me getting to the finale was like, I got a free hotel for a week. Yeah. Like, I was homeless at the time anyways, so I was like, oh, this is blessed. So, freaking, I went and did that, and then right after that, because of the live shows all week, and Twitter had just come out, I got 9,000, 10,000 followers off of just the live show. And then from there, I made my first YouTube video probably like a week or two later. And it was like my friend's birthday. They were at a hotel, and I just got a MacBook. And so like, I put on, remember Lil B's cooking dance was like the wave at one point? So I just put on a camera, just did a little cooking dance, whatever. And then that did like a little bit of numbers. And I was like, this YouTube thing's kind of cool. Started putting out more stuff on there. I think I did a video with Lath talking about masturbating. And that got on WorldStar. And then that's when things like, I was like, okay, this. Yeah. Yeah. That was like different beast WorldStar. Like, if it dropped on WorldStar, people are texting you. Like, my phone was going off the next day. Yeah, and it hit like 1 million first day, and I was like, this is nuts. And then we were trying to get the attention of these two girls that make makeup videos, me and Lath, and their mentions were just crazy because they're just wildly popular at that time. And so we're like, okay, let's just mimic one of their videos, and hopefully they'll see it. And we did a video. We called these two girls over. They brought all the makeup they could. We mimicked one of their videos, and they saw it, and then now all their the girls that watched their channel flooded over. Because sometimes when you were a creator and you commented on a video or liked a video, it would pop up on all your subscribers' homepage. They'd be like, oh, Marlon liked this video. Let me see what video he liked.
Who did my person?
Exactly. And then so all those girls came, and it was just flooded. And from there, we just kept on making videos.
I want to talk a little bit about the shit people say
in your
career. What was the first shit people say you did?
I believe it was shit Jamaican people say. I'm pretty sure. And it was like on a whim, like me and Slinky. I'd seen one, and I was like, this is not good. I was like, this is not Jamaicans.
Shit people Jamaican, but they were like...
But it wasn't, I think it was some American guys. And the pato was just off, and I'm like, the pride of being a Jamaican, I'm like, nah, this has to be done correct. I was so livid. Yeah. And I called Slinky up. I just met him at Seneca. Barely knew this nigga. Barely knew this nigga. Nothing. No. He was in Rated them times. And friggin', I'm just like, yo, bro, I know you're funny. Everybody says we reminded them of each other, whatever. Come through. Let's film this video. He was like, all right, bet. Came through like the next day. Banged out shit Jamaican people say in like 2 hours. Something like that. Like, we just made up everything on the spot. Like, it was just made up. Like, okay, what do Jamaicans say? All right. What does your mom say when this happens? Boom, say that. And then we just film it. And it was just, just like that. And then that blew up. I remember it was going wild. And we're like, yo, we got to do shit Toronto people say now. And like, because we're like, yo, Toronto has their own world. Like, we have our own talks. And at that time, it was like, we were starting to recognize that we're our own people, but like there was nothing like internet-wise that was showing that. Yeah, like people were still on Twitter talking like Americans.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Like that's how deep it went. People were on Twitter saying finna and all types of. Bro, when I noticed that I'm typing that way, that's when I was like, okay, this is a problem. Like, because you're talking to other Americans, so you feel like you need to, or they're not going to think you're cool or whatever. And I'm just like, yo, fuck this, right? We have our own shit. And then that's what we made shit Toronto people say. Went nuts. I remember being a wet bar, and Drake tweeted it on his Twitter, and like my phone just shut off. It was a wrap. Yeah, and then the next day, everything just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So this is on YouTube. At these times, were you monetizing on
No.
YouTube yet, or was it before?
I was not. It was a joke thing to me. It was just fun.
Just fucking around.
I had no idea I could. And they sent me the pin to get monetized. But who's checking their email? Like, what? No matter who's checking their email them times.
Paying pretty good, like around.
Bro,
Like
when I tell you, okay, so fast forward like 2 years later, I'm going to Miami, and something happened, and all my funds are gone like 2 days before the trip. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to Miami. I'm just going to be on the beach all fucking week, like, vex. YouTube sends me the password. I was like in my email. For some reason, I saw it. Yeah. And I put it in. And by the time I got to Miami, there's $1,100 sitting in my bank account from YouTube. I'm like, you can make money off this? Like, I thought the pin was just to become a partner, and I still didn't know what that meant. I thought I was just going to be working with YouTube. So I was like, oh, yeah, sick. I see $1,100. I'm like,
what'd you do right away? Go see if you can get back pay a lot.
Bro, that was the back pay. That was.
So they retroactive.
Because this is the thing. Shit Toronto people say, shit Jamaican people say. I put copyright music on both of them to start off the fucking video. And that's the only time there's copyright anything in the video. The first, and I didn't even need to make the song that long. Like, I could have made it so extra, bro. I was so pissed. I could have made it 10 seconds long, and it would have been, I would still be making dollars off of it. But because I put the copyright music on it, none of those, my biggest videos, none of them.
Those are all mills.
Bro, I don't even want to talk to you about how much money that is. I can kind of back then, when Walmart was putting in advertising money, bro, talking racks.
So those videos go crazy. You're not monetizing it. You're fucking learning your lesson. After you did those two shit people say, it's going crazy, did a part of you, and I guess you and Slinky or whoever, think, I don't want to do another shit, I don't want to be the shit people say guys only? Or what were you thinking content-wise?
I didn't want to be the Jamaican guy only. I didn't care about the shit people say because it was a trend. Yeah. So it was like basically gone anyways. Yeah, it was gone anyways. But I didn't want to be the Jamaican guy. I remember that at one point because the Jamaican stuff was so easy for me that I'm like, I'm going to get so bored if this is what I just do. Yeah, and it's like, Major Hype, he's lucky because he has all the accents. You know what I mean? If it was just a Jamaican thing, you feel pity. Yeah, I can't do a Bayesian accent. Like, I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? So if it was a Jamaican thing, I'd be the beef patty man for like. You feel like that was kind of happening? And you kind of It was happening. And like, it's because the thing is when you tell people you're Jamaican, just on a normal conversation level, if they've been to Jamaica, know a Jamaican, or eat patty, they think they can now speak Patois to you. And it's like, stop, please. I'm dying. Like, it always happens. Dog, they sound like Irish pirates. It doesn't even make sense. Wagwan, my man. Like, what are you doing? Why you sound like a leprechaun, bro? It's embarrassing. And it's so cringy as a Jamaican to stand there and, like, take that. Because, like, if someone told you you're Spanish, you're not doing a bachata. You're not fucking saying Feliz Navidad. For some reason, they feel like they can't be doing. Bro, it's Jamaicans' fault. I blame Jamaicans, bro. You go to Jamaican and they're like, Wagwan, say it, Wagwan. And they encourage you to speak like them. Nowhere else is that happening in the world. Back in their workplace, like, I love Jamaica, and they want to tell you. Exactly. I always say that Jamaicans are white people's favorite black people. I feel like Jamaicans. Because we're a tourist thing. In Jamaica, they are. No, everywhere. Everywhere. Because they automatically go Bob Marley. And they automatically, from Bob Marley, go One Love. I love Jamaicans. You guys are all about love and your ganja. And so, I feel like it's like that until they go to like a restaurant. They don't know real Jamaicans. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, wait, whoa, so rude. Yeah. The guy at the resort was nothing like that. Yeah. Delroy was very kind to me. Like, get out of here, bro. So that when you do it on the internet now, that maximizes times 10. Because now it's just anywhere you go. Like, I remember I was, Mother's Day, I was with my mom going to People's, and this guy comes up to me, hey, yo, love your videos. I'm like, oh, sick. I'm like, Mother's Day, mom's never seen this. You raised a good one, like, you're seeing, like, what you're doing? And then the man's like, suck your mother. And I'm like, bro. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's a fan. He hears me say it. He probably just thinks it's a joke, doesn't know what it's like. My mom's not doing that math. My mom's ready. I saw her get into, you know your mom gets in her bus-ass stance? Like she's ready to, yeah. started getting in the stance, and I was like, yo, okay, chill out. It's a joke. Suck him out to you too. And then, like, I just left. Like, I didn't know what else to do, bro. It was wild.
Okay, so that happens. What's the transition from there, YouTube-wise? Like, where you're following YouTube at those times, I feel like it's really trendy. So you have to kind of keep on the trends for your channel.
I just get bored very easily. So it's like the YouTube thing, I was doing it, but I'm like, this is like...
I feel like I saw a slowdown. Like, you were doing vlogs for a bit. You did the Ask McFly, which people were working with. And I feel like your YouTube thing kind of slowed down, I guess, when the podcast started, or what kind of slowed down?
Well, did the podcast, I got an agent, so I started doing like actual, like real acting stuff. Mentos? Yeah, yo, so I got an agent finally, and started the podcast, so those things kind of like took away from it. And then I started doing like some mentor work as well. Yeah, man, the YouTube thing just got really boring to me. Money slowed, but like it was more so the fact that like they're stifling your creativity. Like it wasn't even more so about the money. It's like I can't write the word sex in the title or else I can't get monetized. Like what is that? You know what I mean? So I'm like, if this is I came here because like I could do whatever I want. You know what I mean? To an extent. And if I can't do that anymore, why am I still gonna stay on this platform? Like regardless of what money I can make from it, I'm not gonna conform and change up my style to fit this family-friendly shit that I'm not. It's just not me.
That's not how I feel.
Yeah, it's just not me.
You're fucking talking about masturbating. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. That was my first like viral video. You think I'm gonna fucking dial back?
Talk to me about when that happens now. How does the Extra Gravy podcast begin? Talk to me about the origin of that.
I was listening to a friend of mine, Francesca. She has a podcast called The Friend Zone. And I saw her promote it, and I was like, oh, let me take a listen to it. And when I clicked the link, it opened that purple podcast app sign. And I had always seen it. Every time I got a new iPhone or whatever, I'd take it, store it away somewhere. Like, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, some weird radio shit. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I'd store it away. And then I remember when I clicked it and it went to that, and I was just like, just follow. And I was listening to, I'm like, and I'm seeing how many podcast episodes they have. I'm like, wait, so I don't need to sign up for anything? Like, I just do this? I just listen. Yeah. And I'm like, this is interesting. And I started looking into it more. I started listening to other podcasts. I started finding people that I actually fuck with outside the podcast world that had podcasts. And I'm like, wait, everyone has a podcast? Like, it's 2017.
Okay.
And I remember Joe Budden's podcast in 2016. He did that whole Views viral podcast, that episode that took him to the next level. Yep. And but I never knew that was a podcast at the time. I thought that was like a YouTube show that he does.
So Joe Budden been on YouTube.
Exactly. So then I found his podcast, and I was like, oh shit, okay. And I'm like, I like this. Like, it's just niggas talking, like, and there's different types of podcasts. Like, you can find some shit that's good for, like, your life, like, evolving your life.
Crime series.
Crimes, murdered shit. Like, there's so many different types. And I'm like, okay, this is dope. And I'm like, but how do they make money? Because I was like, I'm not going to get into another thing where I don't know how to make money. You know what I mean? And I noticed the live shows were ways to make money, advertising, and I'm like, okay, so this is feasible. If you just build the audience, like you can have that. And in Toronto, I'm like, I started looking around for podcasts. The only one I knew of was Beer Gal. And I had done their podcast and still didn't know what a podcast was. Yeah, I had done it and I still didn't know. So I was like, oh, okay. So, and at that time, they had kind of slowed down. And I'm like, okay, so I see a gap. I see an area here where it's like untapped market. It doesn't seem like, and I'm big on that as well, like doing things that other people aren't doing. And I like being the test dummy because a lot of people will watch some shit that I do and then see all the mistakes or whatever and then fine tune and come up with their own shit. And I don't mind that. I love watching it. And seeing that and like noticing that if I start it, it'll create a community, like other people will probably start it, and the whole scene in Toronto, because that's the majority of the reason I do a lot of the stuff too, is we need a hub here in the city. Like, we don't have a breakfast club. We don't have these media markets where artists can come to Toronto and be like, all right, I got a full day. You know what I mean? Artists come to Toronto. Yeah. Artists come to Toronto, they do flow. They might do G98 if they're like West Indian.
Right now, so it's like we're really behind the
Trust me, bro. It's like, and now they just got rid of 2 of their hosts, bringing in the Breakfast Club. So it's like there's such little spaces for us creatives, and I'm always about just creating more space. You know what I mean? So we started the podcast, and
so initially it was you came up with the name.
I was gonna do it. Yeah, I was gonna do it by myself. I didn't even think about a co-host or anything like that until like I did.
Because you're so used to talking into the camera by yourself, and I don't.
Well, I thought I'd have enough people to interview to come in and.
So it's gonna be more interview based.
Yeah, it was gonna be more interview based, or not even necessarily interview based. I was just gonna bring in someone and talk about what I want to talk about, guest co-host or whatever, I guess you can say. And after like the second episode, I did it with my old roommate Jason, and I was like, I remembered all the convos we used to have and like how much he's in tune with music and shit. I was like, yo, you should come through. Like, we could do this. And he's like, all right, bet. And we started doing that, and then like his business outside of that kind of took over. So it was like there wasn't much time for him to even do the podcast. So we just had to go our separate ways, and then brought in Norm, and Norm's been on ever since. Yeah.
You guys been doing that since 2017?
2018, yeah,
Okay.
2018.
2 years now.
Yeah, and then probably gonna get another co-host within the next week or 2.
Do you guys feel like 3 is a better dynamic?
Yeah, I feel like 3 is like the perfect number. Like I don't think you need anything more than that. And we always need like a female perspective. Like it's at the end of the day, it's 2 niggas talking on what we think women might do in certain situations and shit. And like the women and majority of the people that listen to us are women, are black women, heavy black women. Yeah.
I feel like for a situation like yours, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people bring on a woman just to have
a woman.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
And it's clear that you just have this girl here because you think like you watch the Breakfast Club and see.
It's like First Take.
Girl, and you're like, that's it.
It's like First Take. Like, why is Molly there?
I feel like it's so
I don't need you to read the news. Skip can read. Steven can read. Like, why are you hot and just there? Like, that's why you're there, just to be hot, and you don't find this insulting? Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Like, but you guys, with your demographic, like, yeah, it literally makes sense.
Yeah, no, we definitely, and like, I didn't want to just pick like just any woman. Like, I wanted someone that's like already doing some things. I already have someone. Yeah, someone's gonna be coming on soon. Yeah, can't announce it, but yeah. When's this coming out?
Maybe next week.
All right. Yeah, can't announce it.
You're gonna find out right clip it or something. But all right, so you're doing the podcast. Norm gets involved. How does Norm even get involved? How the fuck do you?
Ask him.
You knew him already?
Yeah, me and Norm, the place that you dropped off the hat.
Yeah.
He lived the floor underneath me.
Oh,
and so we'd always just link up and smoke and just talk shit.
Your friend.
Yeah, he was my homie. So it was like, and I knew he had done so many things in the Toronto space already. That I was like, and he was doing stand up as well. So I'm like, oh, 2 comedians, like that's a good show. You know what I mean? And at the same time, he's a little different from Jason, whereas he's not in tune with what's going on. He's not on social media all the time. So when I explain things to him, a lot of times some of the listeners aren't in tune with what's going on. That's why they're listening. So it's like, for me to explain it to him from someone who doesn't know, it's like I'm talking to them as well at the same time.
And a lot of times if you have 2 people who both know, you'll kind of skip the explanation.
Exactly.
Like, I don't gotta get
and people are like, wait, what's the backstory? Like, what happened?
all the time.
Yeah. So it's like, it's going to be good to have that dynamic of him, and then I'm going to have a woman on that is in tune with what's going on. She is social media savvy. She does all that stuff. And so, like, it's going to be very easy to have that balance.
Somebody's comfortable with the way you guys talk.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking, you can't
Yeah.
have someone who's hypersensitive.
No. Well, and that's the thing, like, even that is content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
But it's fucking gonna be good content.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind. I'll take that content. Like, if it's content, let's get it. Like, if she wants to battle me during the podcast, we can get froggy. I don't care.
As long as someone is willing to stand their ground and
It's good content at the end of the day, because,
that's the best. We're talking about that off air with all academic shit.
Yeah.
That's the best content when you have polarizing people.
bro, because you have a voice for both sides. You have people who don't agree with me.
2 people agree all the time gets boring.
Boring as hell. It's like, it can only be good if they agree and they're stupid with how they agree. like Charlamagne and Andrew, they're dumb. Like they're smart, but they're dumb. That's why it's called Brilliant Idiots. You know what I mean? Like, and they had a moment where they're butting heads for like a year. They would talk it out on the podcast. Like, it would get real, and I'd be like, I remember for weeks, I'm like, yo, this is about to be done.
But I like the fact that they do it on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's to me what makes the show great.
That's content. You know what I mean? Like, that's what made them.
Charlamagne understands that.
Yeah.
Value in that. So he's not gonna do it out fair. He's gonna wait till he sees you out there.
He may not be the smartest individual, but he gets it. He gets it.
For sure. All right, so you talked about Norm doing stand-up comedy even before you were doing stand-up comedy, or before you guys even linked up for the podcast. How did you develop your love for stand-up comedy? Where did that come?
Well, I've always like just loved watching stand-up. Obviously, most people do. But like, I mean, every night I remember throughout high school, me and this girl would call each other when Comic View comes on, and we'd watch Comic View while on the phone and just dying and talking about the jokes and like just being like, oh, this guy's shit or this guy's good. Or so I was like already studying comics like that, you know what I mean? And watching, I had Delirious memorized. I used to be in class listening to Def Jam comedy. I remember the episode where Bernie Mac, Chris Tucker, Martin, and somebody else. I can't even remember who it was. Crazy time. And it was on, I got on LimeWire, funny enough, by accident. I just seen like their names, and I was like, oh, let me download this. And it turned out to be a whole Def Jam episode. And I fucking would like listen to that every day, memorize it. And then I think Norm put me on my first comedy show, literally down the street from here. It was like one of his first comedy shows he ever threw. And I had not done stand-up comedy before that. Stupid nervous. I remember just shitting bricks. And I ate shit that night. Like, I barely told any good jokes. And I remember being so terrified, I'm like, yo, I'm never putting myself through that again. Like, no way. No way. This is not for me. And then years later, years, bro. Bro, years later. It's terrifying.
So years later.
People don't understand how scary it is, man. They see, like, I get looking up there and being like, oh, it's not easy to tell jokes. There's way more than that. Like, there's so much up there, and there's nowhere for you to hide. Like, just imagine telling this water ball, like, if this water ball stopped being a water ball right now, you just know it. Yeah. It's just that simple. There's nothing up there. There's no editing. There's no curtain. No nothing. There's one light, and it's on you. Everybody else is in the dark, and you're the only person facing the wrong way. So it's like.
What even gave you the confidence to go back up?
I remember Aaron, Mr. Lewin, he was doing one of his first comedy shows, and he's like, yo, I got 4 y'all on it. Younger brother's gonna be on it, and Trix is gonna come out and watch it. Yada. I'm like, so I'm hearing all these like familiar names. I'm like, okay, it'll be with people I know who aren't like necessarily experts at this either. So it's like, maybe this will be cool. Shat bricks again. I drank a whole bottle of Henny to the face because I was so nervous. Didn't get drunk because I was so nervous.
Your brain was like,
my brain was, yeah. I threw up like on some real Eminem shit like 10 seconds before going on stage. Went on stage, forgot half my jokes, but did fairly well, better than I thought I would with the jokes that I had. And then just left the stage being like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. Once again, it was like the same feeling, same thoughts process in my head. I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And I didn't do it again for probably 3 years, 2-3 years. And then, yeah, I did one of Norm's shows, and I did a show at Harborfront, like a Black History Month show with Trix and Jay Martin. And watching them up there just beasting, like legendary shit. And I'm watching them just kill the room. I'm like, yo, I gotta figure out a way to fucking do this. Like, the competitor in me came out then, and I was just like, nah, I'm gonna figure this out. Like, I gotta do this. And I remember doing Norm's show, Bear Jokes, one of his first Bear Joke shows, and I killed it. Like, I did really well. And I was like, I got that bug, like that feeling where it's like, yo, I got, like, it was a feeling where, like, yo, I got to be on stage right now again. Like, as soon as I got off stage. Yeah. And even before that, I forgot about this. I did MTV Creeps. Remember that show? Yeah. I was on MTV Creeps, and I made it to the semifinals, and we had to do a challenge where it was like, do a stand-up at a comedy show. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I said, I'm not doing this shit anymore. And then they wrote it for you too, on top of that. So I'm like, I get in the van, they hand us the scripts, and we're driving to the place, and I'm like, this is shit. I'm like, this is God, who wrote this? And I remember changing up so many things, and then I started getting like a little bit amped. And I went up and I did it, and I did it really, really well. And I was just like, yo, this is sick. And I remember being on the subway that going home and being like, yo, should I do this? Should I do this? Like, I don't even know. And then when Norm hit me up, it was like probably 2 weeks after that. And I just went and did it. And that bug hit me again. I was like, yeah, I gotta do this. And I just started figuring out, like, anytime someone asked me is when I would do it. And then up until October of last year is when I threw my first comedy show. And yeah, now I'm about to do another one, my first headlining one. I've never headlined yet.
It's your first time?
Yeah. So it's gonna be my first time on stage longer than 8 minutes.
How long is that?
Probably 30 minutes.
30-minute set. That's a big jump.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't gotta remind me, brother.
That's coming up fairly soon.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
terrified. Thank you. And I'm trying out new jokes.
So you're still working, like, do you have that model? I can tell listening to some of your podcasts and shit and hearing you talk about comedy that you're like a student of the game.
Definitely.
Like you're someone who thinks about, like, you treat it as like an actual craft, a skill, as someone would like a fucking someone doing pottery or someone doing anything. I
haven't worked on anything this hard since basketball.
Yeah, I can tell, and I can tell you're treating it from such a technical level, like going back and doing the research.
Yeah.
And I feel like I appreciate whenever someone steps into a space and they step into it with that approach. Those are the people that last. That are treating it like dead ass seriously, doing it 10,000 hours. Like,
trust me, like I did a joke on here. You guys didn't even realize. I did a joke out here, y'all didn't even realize. I gotta work my shit out anywhere I can, brother. I'm working it, dog. I got to.
That's like, I'm a Joe Rogan head too, so through him, I'm not the biggest fan of his comedy, to be honest. Yeah. But through him, I've like.
Yeah, his comedy is nowhere near as good as his podcast.
I don't fuck with comedy, man.
Not at all.
I fuck with his podcast heavy.
Yeah. And
his interviewing style, and he's introduced me to so much other comics.
Yeah, all his friends are sick.
And more the technical skill of comedy, like the way he talks about it, I'm like, holy shit. Like, the way he treats it.
People don't understand it's a science. Like, if I walk into a building and there's high ceilings, there's paintings on the wall or window, I'm just like, this is gonna be shit. Yeah, and that's not even looking at the crowd. I'm just like, this is gonna be shit.
The way him and comics talk about it, I'm like, yo, I never.
It's a different language altogether. Because when I hear it, I get amped. I'm like, yeah. But other people in the room are like, what does it matter if you say it that way? And I'm just like, yo, you don't even know. Like, the inflection of your voice and where you hit certain questions, and it's just a lot, man.
How far are you from like an actual special, like trying to film a special?
I am a ways away, at least like a year. But I'm gonna be doing my first comedy album and dropping it by my birthday. Yeah, and that's in August. I'm dropping it Caravana weekend.
So how does the comedy? I've never listened. I know they exist. I know they get nominated for Grammys and all that shit. But how does the comedy album actually?
It's literally just exactly what you're hearing. it's a sets, but in just track format.
Also, each set is a song.
Well, yeah. So like it would have a name, and then it would have a certain. It could be a minute. It could be 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It's not like music where it's like usually 3, 4, 5 minutes. Like this is just, it jumps. It could be 30 seconds of a joke. You know what I mean?
I know there's a Toronto comedy scene here, and like I've been to the fucking Nubian Night.
Yeah.
Yuck Yuck, which is pretty dope. But how important is it to establish yourself in the U.S. to like actually sustain a living?
Yeah. Well, Canadians and stand-up comedy, like the end of the road is like just for laughs. Like, what do you do past that? That's the ceiling. You know what I mean? Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal. That's like the Super Bowl for you. So anything past that is just how you work it. Like, I don't know many Canadians that are stand-up comedians that are on that level right now. Like, I don't know any getting Netflix specials or doing anything like that, or getting a TV show. Like there might be a 1-2 getting TV shows in America, but not nearly at the rate of the American comics.
Most comedians still have to do other shit.
Oh yeah, definitely. You gotta tap dance, something. Yes, you gotta do something, cause I don't know. Like majority of the time when I go to like audition rooms, especially, like it's a lot of comedians there. Like you'll see a lot of stand-up guys there, and you can tell stand-up's not gonna put the food on your table like every night. Like I've done gigs where I got paid $10, so there's no money in stand-up in Canada yet.
Figuring out how to get to that space where you.
I kind of figured it out, but I just got to do it now. So it's like it's just everything takes time. You know what I mean? When you have those plans in your head, but you just got to go through the motions first. That's exactly where I'm at right now. So doing this headlining show, first of all, it's gonna build my confidence heavily, because I remember like not having the confidence to do 8 minutes, and now I'm like, oh, I can do 8 minutes, like that's light work, but half an hour, that's like serious shit, like for me. And some comedians I've watched Dave Chappelle do 4 hours on YouTube, 4 hours in the middle of the night, just sitting there talking.
Who's your comedy top 5?
Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Louis C.K., Bill Burr. Oh, I lied. Patrice O'Neal.
Who you taking out? Who you switching out for?
Bill Burr.
Patrice O'Neal is like.
Patrice O'Neal's the god.
Every comic, he's a comic. Like every comic I hear.
He's just my favorite person, period. He taught me how to deal with women, taught me how to deal with life, like everything.
Everyday person has no idea who that is.
Which is sad.
Crazy,
it's sickening to me. It's actually sickening. Like, it hurts my heart.
Bring him up, he was like, who the fuck is
it hurts my heart, bro.
But the comics are like, are you fucking, you don't know what's on it.
That guy is the GOAT to me. Like, there's no comedian better, in my opinion.
Definitely a comic.
That guy, he would purposely go into rooms and piss people off just to see if he could win them back. Like, you go in there, you suck, you're a piece of shit. You don't, what are those glasses? And then he just turned them around, and they'd love him by the end of it. He's like, that's GOAT shit. That's GOAT shit. Meanwhile, I'm here up there, I'm scared like to fucking do 30 minutes. This guy's up there, fuck you. Like, I'm up here like, please think I'm funny? Like, fuck, man. It's crazy. I want to get to that level, but those guys put in the years, they put in the hours, man. Like, and that's why I'm like, yo, I just got to keep doing this.
Did you ever get that initial blowback as being a social media guy doing the stand-up comedy?
Never, no.
No one's ever like,
Only comedians. Like, yeah, when I go into comedy spaces, it's different for me because I'm not only trying to impress the audience it's not even like a normal comic who goes in there and tries to impress the audience. Usually they don't know you. This is your first impression. Me, people know me for the YouTube stuff already. So it's like, oh, this nigga better be funny in person. And then comedians are like, oh, internet funny guy. Oh. And then so now when you get off stage and you killed it, you can always tell when they didn't rate you before because they'd be like, whoa, that was really good. And you're just like, yeah, you thought I was gonna fall on my fucking ass, didn't you? Because they all come out too. Like they're in the green room chilling for every other comedian that's like seasoned vet or whatever. But let you come out. Every man's outside like hoping that you eat shit. Especially for them. Because if you do well and you're the internet guy who people didn't expect you to do well, you'll get even bigger laughs. And then on top of that, they gotta follow. So it's like they're hoping you eat shit. They're hoping.
you kill that puts so much a higher fucking standard on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm a firm believer of like, if you're funny, you're funny. Like, and if you're a quick thinker, as long as you're a quick thinker and you're funny, you'll be fine no matter what. Like even if I start shitting the bed now, I know how to get out of it. It's not. Yeah, well, because I've done so much like emceeing events, like universities. I've done shit at Dundas Square. I've hosted Frosh events, and like there's so many times you just gotta improvise. They'll be like, "Yo, we need you to kill 10 minutes," and it's like, okay, and you just gotta figure it out. So if you're on stage, you forget your jokes or something or whatever, like you just gotta figure it out in that moment.
At this point, I don't want to talk about two separate things. So at this point, personally, it's probably kind of a broad question for you to even answer, but what's the long-term goal personally for you as an individual? Is it acting, being an actor, who does comedy? Is it within the podcast and focusing on that, what do you see yourself doing like long term?
I want to do everything. I want to do all. I want to have podcasts I do weekly. I want Rogan's life, kind of. You know what I mean? Do on my own time type shit. Like I have one that's like a normal staple job or whatever. Like if I'm acting on a series or whatever the case may be, podcast can go on, stand up can still go on, and whatever else I decide to do after that. You know what I mean? Like I definitely want to manage an artist. Like that's big on my list.
A music artist?
Yeah, I feel like I can make people famous very easily, but I just can't do it for myself as easy.
Do you have anyone in the city who you would manage?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of different people I would manage in the city, but I gotta manage my own shit right now.
Because with being a manager, artists have approached me for that kind of shit too. And it's like, I tell artists, like, yo, right now, I don't think I could, because that means me putting you before me.
Exactly. I gotta put my own life on hold to make sure you're good.
Yo, I just got good. Does he have a shit going on? I don't think I'm in that position right now.
And then on top of that, you've seen the story a billion times. You're some small town manager. Then when the labels come messaging, you're gone and wipe out. Yeah, and you have no money at the end of it. Yeah, like what? I just helped you. What is that? Your Uber to your dreams? Like this is not. Yo, bro, you gotta be, and like I don't have the amount of time I would want to put into it. I don't have that right now to split myself into. Oh yeah, definitely.
So are you big into the Toronto hip hop scene?
No.
So who do you listen
to? It all sounds the same to me. It's very trash.
So what do you listen to?
I listen to Sean Leon. I think he's one of the best in the city. Jazz 808. Huh?
You said the Kanye look?
Trust me, man. The joke is I've always called him the Kanye of the city. Like, it's just his brain works different from everybody else. Devontae, the usual guys, you know what I mean? Like,
you're into the spitters, but the names are rappers.
Yeah, you know, the rappers, the guys who are making music, like not just some tunes to turn up. Like, I get that there's a space for everything, and I appreciate that, but majority of the time, I don't want to turn up. Like, that has its moments, you know what I mean? And I love hearing Toronto hip-hop in the club. Like, that's what makes me apt. If I hear it in the club, I remember when I first started hearing Smoke Dogg, Trap House in the club, my mind was blown. I'm like, are they really respecting Toronto artists right now? And everyone knows the tune. I'm like, this is wild. That tune, Baka, when Baka dropped his tune, Pressa, like, bro, I was like, this is amazing. Like, I almost had a tear in my eye in the club drunk. Like, it's like a moment to go to the washroom. You know what I mean? So it's like, niggas started like really putting in the work and like putting out quality tunes. And now it's just like, it's so oversaturated with just a lot of bullshit, in my opinion. And a lot of things that are just a detriment. Things that are just like
based on controversy.
Controversy, just like, shit hurting. Yeah. Situations that are happening. Yeah, man, they're smoking their homies in a pack and all types of shit. Viral, right? Because it's like a soap opera. I blame WorldStar, bro. Even though WorldStar is not around anymore, that's the catalyst, bro. Like that. We had a moment where we were becoming our own city, like doing our own thing. Then WorldStar just crept its way in like at the same time. And people just want to be like Americans again in different ways. And that's the only reason niggas are in True Religion all over the city. Like, you know what I mean? Only reason niggas have dreads all over the city is like that Chief Keef time that.
And when you really like dive deep into the Chicago wave, it's exactly what our scene is now, talking about your enemies.
Yeah.
Which is making
ops and all that shit.
You realize you put out a normal song, they get 10K views. If you say one guy's name in the song,
it's up. You're up.
For sure. So
you're up.
That causes shooting.
And I get it because like Chicago's so much like Toronto, and like when you talk about drill music, you talk about the UK and our music, like so many parallels. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it. I get why people were attracted to it and whatnot, but it just sucks because now we have what's happening now.
You understand what comes with it?
I saw it. I'm like, I knew anyone could have told you that this would all unfold this way. So it's like, once the WorldStar thing didn't help, then Six Buzz came along, and that was like the new WorldStar for the city. And clout has just corrupted minds to the point of just near insanity. People are just doing whatever now. So I don't know, man. That whole scene is just it's not in a good space for me. And if I'm listening to music, I don't listen to music to think about mans and beef. I'm sorry. Like, I like that once in a while, you know? Give me a Meek Mill, a Drake.
We are a dose of ignorance, but like, I can only take it.
Like, I'm an R&B man at the end of the day. R&B right now, different level. Different level. So it's like...
That R&B, the R&B dead debate, that's like so crazy.
Dumb as fuck.
That means you don't know where to find music.
Just say you don't know how to use Google. Just say you have dial-up. Just say you have dial-up. It's like... you can press one R&B song on Spotify and just let your shit play, and it'll play random artists that are related to the artist you're listening to and like. And it's all fire. There's so much good R&B, I don't need to listen to rap. So it's like, even in the city, I just did, there's this guy, this brown guy, HSP Sounds, did a cover of Summer Walker song called Sessions. And... Sessions 32, trust me. He did a cover of it. Flames, killed it. And I'm like, oh, I retweeted. I'm like, oh, this is sick. A next Toronto R&B artist saw that, did the same cover, sent it to me, DM the next day. He's like, yo, I did one too. Killed it. Retweeted that. I'm like, yo, let's make this a trend. 3, 4 next artists, R&B artists in Toronto. I've heard of none of these niggas. But they did it, like, and they just put out wicked, like, they have all great sounds. So I'm just like, this is nuts. The city is filled with this much talent that I don't even know these people.
I think if anything, it's actually the exact reverse problem. There's too much talent that it's hard to narrow down who are the people to listen to.
Well, it's also that, it's that, and everyone's trying to use the same plugs. So it's like, when everyone's trying to use the same plug's like, all right, I can only handle like 2 of you guys at a time. That's just... Everybody calm down.
6 months.
I'm going to deal with these 2. I'm going to come back to you guys. And by then, these guys are out doing their own thing, trying to, you know, get on their own way. So it's R&B space is much better than the hip-hop space for me right now.
At this point, just taking it back to you, at this point in your journey right now where you are with comedy and the podcast, and just in your personal life, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of just, like, leaving an impact on the city. Like, I feel like at first I didn't really take it in that way until like bare people just started like telling me, no, you need to realize. I'm like, all right, man. And like, yeah, man, like the fact that like I'll be known as like one of the first internet people from the city, that's huge for me. And I've inspired or helped at least motivate some other people to do their own thing in the city and like make their own waves and you know, like there's so many guys that are right now reminding me of me starting out, you know what I mean? Like you got Trezor, you got Bilal, like there's so many of these guys. Like I could go down a heavy list, but these guys like they really taking into their own and becoming their own brand, and like it's just sick to see that. It's sick to see that, like, me, because I didn't do it by myself. Like, there's 4 y'all as well that huge pioneers. Femi, huge pioneer in his own right. Like, there's so many of us that bubbled at the same time. Built that community and have allowed, like, so many different kids to just do their own thing and be even more creative than us sometimes.
And even prepping for this, man, just to give you, like, your props. I was talking to one of my camera people here that was like, yo, in our generation, because he's younger than me, he's like, these guys, Marlon like, included, were what we watched after school. Yeah. We didn't, like, you guys had like cable still and had other like Big Tigger, like you saying. Like, that was who we did. We came home and my whole generation grew up on these people. So of course you're gonna see content creators who are like not mimicking, but have been influenced by your style.
It's gonna seem like mimicking because there's only so much you can do.
There's a whole generation of people that, like, I had the same conversation with Jay Wiss about Prime. I'm like, there's a whole generation who grew up on Prime.
Yeah.
There's a whole generation who grew up on Marlon and 4 y'all, and now these people are getting into their own bag.
Yeah. And a lot of them are doing it better than how we started out. Because they got the blueprint.
They monetize as soon as they can, because there has to be people like you to do that first.
Exactly. And they'll hit me up and ask me like, yo, what do I do with this? I didn't have anybody to be like, yo, I'm getting this contract from this person. Yeah, you know what I mean? I have this contract from this person. This brand's hitting me up. What do I don't know what to charge. Like, I had nobody like that. So to be able to, like, answer those questions for somebody and, like, know that they're not going to be disserviced the same way I was for as long as I was. And, like, how I didn't take it seriously for 4 or 5 years. And, like, it was just a play thing for me. They're doing it serious from the jump. So they're going to skip a lot of the bullshit. And I'm so happy that I could be, like, one of the people that helped do that.
As we're on that, there's going to be people watching this right now. If you had to give them one piece of advice for a content creator, especially a black content creator coming into that space, to maybe have them avoid some kind of headache, what's one thing you would tell them not to do, or something that they should do early that you didn't do or you figured out later?
Quote high. I always quote high. Like, way higher than you think that you are even worth. Because I know it seems like, especially at a time when you're just coming up, you're scraping dollars by. Like, it's not like you're making ducats like crazy. Like, you're scraping by. So it's like, it's hard when somebody hits you up and they're like, oh, I got this much for you. But you're like, that's kind of light. But I need that money right now. I need that. It's not worth it. And they probably have more money for you. You just got to ask. They want you. They want your services. You just got to ask for it. Know your worth. Know your worth. And add tax, like, every time. Because when you add that tax, sometimes they just take away the tax. and they're like, all right, we can do this. And you're just like, yo, I just got way more money than I would have wanted to. Especially, like, when I got older, I realized there's so many things I didn't want to do until I did them. So now when I'm gauging an email or whatever, I'm like, do I want to do this? If I don't, I'm skyrocketing that quote. Because then that's going to be my motivation to actually do it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't like this, but I'm getting this bag. I got to do it right now. You know what I mean? But if it's something I really genuinely want to do, don't be afraid to sometimes do things for free. If the look is better than the bag, like, there are times where if Drake had hit me up for something, there's no way I'm saying, yo, Drake, you gotta run me some ducats, bro.
You're not gonna be the one to initiate.
Bro, the man tweeted my video and changed the trajectory of my internet career. So it's like, why would you not think that? Don't let the whole I gotta make money thing get in the way of business, for real.
I have that conversation with young boys all the time because I feel like this generation does have a little bit of, they don't want to do anything for free.
Yeah.
They hear people say, like, know your worth, but then it's very tricky. Like, yeah, know your worth, and yeah, demand what you can.
But a lot of people gotta know your worth zero.
But you gotta learn. But you have to take looks, and taking looks and knowing when to take a look is a skill set.
Cause it's not know your
you
worth.
Trick yourself out of a bag.
Yeah.
Taking that quick little free
of course, it's not even know your worth on a base level. It's know your worth per person that you're dealing with.
Right
my worth to Drake ain't shit. Yeah. His worth to me is everything. So it's like
I went into negotiation.
Yeah.
On behalf of another bigger company, and they were saying, "What do you think we should ask for?" Right? I'm like, "What do you guys realistically want?" You threw a number, right? I'm like, "If you want this, tell them double. Start double."
Yeah.
And they looked at me like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, just trust me."
Yeah.
Went in, asked for a high number, and ended up getting like 20% more than
what we originally wanted. Yep.
So like, imagine you would have came at 50% of that.
Yep.
They would have said yes right away, or maybe try to lowball you a little bit.
Whenever they say yes right away, just know you got duped. Anytime they're like, yeah, we can do that right away. Let's send over the contract, sign that immediately. It's just like, you.
I feel like even that level of negotiation, like, people don't. Really,
you got to kind of go through it sometimes.
Yeah, I learned it.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. You know what I mean? And like, you kind of got to go through it, and don't be afraid to ask your creatives around you, like, for advice, because it's like a lot of times you have people who are in the same position, but you viewed them as enemies for no reason at all, just because they're in the same space. They're not your enemies. Like, if someone starts a podcast, like when 4 y'all started a podcast, people are like, oh, you cheese, 4 y'all's jumping on the wave. I'm like, what? This is just gonna make it better for me. Yeah, like with the podcast, now more people know about what podcasts are, and maybe they'll find mine and they'll listen to mine too.
And naturally what happened?
And people wouldn't have gotten there any other way. You know what I mean? So it's like,
for the same reason that businesses will put a similar style business directly beside a business.
Exactly. And just run your own race. Why you like? I don't watch other people to be like, oh, they're doing that, I gotta do this now. Like, just do whatever you want, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, At the end of the day, you're as a creative, we're good with just trying. If you truly love this, you're good with just trying, because at least you know you tried, and you can live with it.
What's your biggest fear where you are?
Coronavirus, nigga, shit is crazy in these streets.
We're talking about that for a second. This corona shit's getting kind of out of hand.
Kind of wild, and it's not even like that serious. It's wiping out the old and the weak. We don't need them anyways. Like, let's be very real. What about the youths? Who needs to look at youths? What do they do? We'll make more.
Yeah, well, let's say, put a position right there. Like, that's for me. I get the whole old fear. But, like, I just had a baby.
No, kids are, I swear kids aren't, like, susceptible to it. A kid?
In daycare.
Oh, in daycare? How old?
I feel like pretty young. Daycare is like before 4.
This shit's evolving as a disease.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, yeah, this is a corona shit. My view on it is this. The people who are saying that the common flu takes out more people than corona, yeah, but this is the infancy stage of life.
Yeah, that argument I don't get, because it's like, it hasn't even been a year. You can't.
You can't make that argument yet. Right? What I'm saying basically now is, my thing is, when I have conversations about it with people, just how they're moving, I'm like, yo, listen to all the top leading people. They're going to have different opinions. You take what you can from that.
Yeah.
Stop listening to Instagram story posts and Twitter posts.
It's hard, because when you got like books like Sylvia Bell's book from 2008 talking about there's going to be a virus called COVID-19, 2020. It's going to come. It's going to disappear, come back 10 years later. Like, because I could genuinely see it disappear. Like, look at China. China just closed China closed their last temporary hospital that they opened in like 10 days just for this. Yeah. Because everything's going down. They didn't have any deaths past 2 days. Like, everything's starting to reverse back. So it's like, it's one of those things where SARS was serious, but SARS, the day you got it, shit was going down. This is 2 weeks of you carrying it and being able to spread it without knowing you have it. So none of this is gonna be done playing out until mid-April. That's when, like, everything's gonna come to a head. Like,
even for people who don't believe, let's say you're someone who's like, you know, it's not that serious. It's more about not necessarily what the disease even does. It's about what the panic does.
Yeah.
To our actual society and the resources and.
I'm not mad about the disease. I'm mad about everything else it's affecting. Fucking NBA's gone. Like, I'm mad about everything else it's affecting. Like, think about allergy season. It's coming up. I won't know who to trust.
That's the thing.
Niggas are gonna be sneezing all over the place.
Like, if you sneeze in this podcast,
I'll be walking through the streets ducking. Like, every second. Like, gunshots. Like, it's gonna be bad, bro.
If I get sick right now, I'm gonna be so cheesy.
If you get sick right now, dog, I coughed on the way here. I had to duck into an alley. Like Spider-Man. Like, I can't. You cough around someone, you're like, they think I have it. They think I have it.
You cough right now, or you have a runny nose. You go to the hospital?
Fuck no. For what? I'm young. My immune system's blessed. Some green tea, some ginger ale. I'm good, brother. I'm good, brother. Ginger ale? Just put that in a fucking IV. Put that in my veins. I'm good. It works. It works. How do you think Magic Johnson's still living? Ginger ale. Huh? Of course. None of that Schweppes shit. What is Schweppes? Schweppes is for nah.
Aside from coronavirus, have you ever had that fear that, or maybe even just the thought that, yo, I'm so far in this shit that I do right now, I cannot work a normal job.
Oh yeah.
Or like, if I do, I'm sure you've had times where you had to work a normal job and it's just fucking awkward.
I've had those times, but I'm like, I'm not doing it. I stayed home. I did not do it. There's been bare times, because like, especially being a creative, the one thing people don't understand, you don't got a every 2 week paycheck. You don't have like the stability.
Shit gets slow sometimes.
There are slow seasons. There are times where people are just not throwing you the bag, or you quoted too high and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go with someone else who quoted $75. You know what I mean? Like, so there are times where things get slow, and like, you're not, and people don't like to honor invoice date periods, like 30, 45 days. Suck my dick. Like, they hate that shit.
For us right now, brother, we'll get you when we get you.
So it's like, sometimes that is annoying, but my thing is like, I just have supreme confidence in what I'm able to do, and like, I know that it's gonna eventually lead to somewhere really good. So I'm just sticking with that for now. I don't know what else to do. I will not get a normal job. This is not gonna happen.
When did your parents understand that? Or when did your mom
No, start? When? When? My mom talked to me today. I have a job for you down at the insurance company. Like, no, Mom. I'm not wearing a suit. This is not happening. I hate it.
But that's natural as a parent.
Oh, yeah. But she knows I'll be fine. The last real job I had was like 2014. And it was a dishwashing job, literally down the street. Yeah, and I went on break to get food, and people stopped me for pictures, and I was in a dishwashing outfit. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I went back to work, fucking snuck in, put my uniform, and cut out the back door. And made a YouTube video every day for like a month and a half and made my rent. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And that's what it's been. So anytime shit hits a fan, you'll see me on YouTube. Like 5 million. If you see me on YouTube dropping 2 videos a day, shit is bleak. I got bread backs in the cupboard. Like, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Trust me.
Well, fuck, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, bro.
Nigga, ThatdudeMcfly.
I got coronavirus now, shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Gotta, all mans are going with the elbow daps these days.
My niece told me that niggas are fucking doing the fucking...
The tap?
The tap.
I rate it.